grieving process. How long is too long, number one? And also, what should you be doing during that process? Like, what's the proper way to grieve? You've told us, don't run into addiction, don't, overdo it and have multiple breakdowns. So how do we define that grieving process and what we're supposed to be doing there? Because also something else that you mentioned earlier is that part of acceptance is coming to the reality that this person might not be in your life anymore after that betrayal. So what are we supposed to be doing during that time?
I think the first phase about grief is, for some of us when they are grieving, they cry. For some of us when they are grieving, whatever they do. But for me, I would advise that when it's that grieving period, the first thing you have to learn is to be good company to yourself. Unfortunately, for some of us, when you're grieving or when you're going through a rough time, we don't like our own company. And so in the process, we either develop a dependence syndrome or we develop other habits, so that because we are not good company to ourselves. You should, from the point of realization that things have changed, you should find a way of making yourself good company to yourself. The first day, people will always empathize with you, then they will sympathize with you, and then they will want life to move on. So people are not going to be always willing, and people want you to heal quickly. Nobody wants to be looking after you, listening to the same story. So you have to find a way of being good company to yourself, because after some time it's going to be too much for us. Where your story will share, Peter. They'll feel like you're overdoing it until it happens to them. Then they start saying, "Oh no, nobody was there for me. Now look at me." So learn to be good company to yourself. Then, secondly, there are two ways that betrayal takes form. One, it's either people withdraw their presence or they withdraw their help. And when they learn that, people, when they want to betray, they'll either withdraw their presence, but the most cruel ones are the ones who maintain their presence, but they will not help. They will just want you to watch you melt. They want to watch you melt away. So when you're dealing with that kind of situation, it is always good to find a way of what I'll call your spiritual space. You always must find a way of debriefing your soul, because the best way you can find help and find presence is when you find a spiritual place. And I know we are living in a society that has so much been externalized that when you talk about spiritual things, people feel it's goofy, it's dingy. But the truth of the matter is this, that man is a tripartite being. The soul, which carries our emotions, sometimes cannot have the ability to heal itself. You need to tap into the spirit man, which can be able to help you heal yourself and heal and rise over your emotions and rise over your soul. So it's important for you to find that spiritual place, because many of us will struggle finding people when we are going through pain to be present or to provide us with the help. So you have to find the spiritual place which can be able to give you the presence of mind and the ability to make you be able to go and look for help. Because when you're going through betrayal, you feel like people should come look for you. The worst thing is when you're hurting and you still have got to go look for help. Pain has an ego, and that's what I've learned. When people are hurting, they have an ego. "Oh, I'm going through this, but But you can only get better when somebody knows. And so you have to rise over the ego of pain and the ego of betrayal and go get help. Not explanations, not justifications. Get out and go get help. Talk to somebody, find somebody, and get help. Tell them, this is how it happened. This is my position. You may not clear it with the public, but you'll clear it with yourself. It helps in grieving when you go out to get help. But if you refuse to go out to get help, slowly by slowly you're going to be overwhelmed by the weight of the emotions of betrayal, of people neglecting you. And then rediscover your inner child. And by that is, find things that you used to do that used to make you happy, that whether it was swimming, rediscover that inner child and allow that child to play, and put yourself in that baby place so that you can go and enjoy. Now, don't go eating every snack at you, then you'll have a toothache. But rediscover that inner child. There is always a child in every one of us. And that is what being a grown-up does. It makes us to cover up that child, or don't do this. But just find a place where you can let loose. Whatever, is it Coachella, whether it's singing in the kitchen or singing in the bathroom, or just walking in the house and playing the music loudly. But just try to find that zone where you can find the enthusiasm, the inner child in you, that will keep you motivated and excited about life. It helps deal with the grief.
I guess it depends on the situation, but another question I wanted to ask you was, what are the chances that after betrayal that this person would can remain in your life? I mean, what steps do you take if that's the outcome that you're maybe longing for, and saying, this person betrayed me, but this is my sister, let me get over it and, you know, maintain a relationship?
My philosophy has always been, you love deeply but choose slowly.
Oof, that's a good one.
It's the best way to deal with people. When I was younger, I used to love deeply and choose quickly. I loved Joey, wow, I love Naliha. But now I've learned to, as much as I love deeply, I make sure that I'm choosing slowly how you get to come into my life and how much access to information you have in my life. When I was younger, my life had no capital. If I was crying, it was only me. If you went and told 2 kids in the hood, rather, who's that? But now with where God has brought me, and now it is now capital. If anything about me breaks, somebody somewhere needs it to advance their interest somewhere. So I have learned that as much as I love deeply, I have to choose very, very slowly. I cannot make those decisions. I cannot tell my heart to choose to love, but I can let it choose the role and the value and the access and the information that person has. It cannot be simultaneous. So that will help you. If the person wants to come back, just choose slowly. Make slow steps.
Not rash
Don't rush at
based on
because
emotion.
that actually shows that you have not yet healed. If you are still yearning and groaning and desiring, oh, come back to me. You know, we used to listen to those love songs, come back to me. And you want to enact that. That's a song. Real life, it doesn't play like that love song. Real life, when they come back, they will realize they hit the appendix. Now they will go for the spleen, the pancreas. They'll realize
the spleen.
They'll go for more vital organs. Real life, you know, you listen to some love songs and you say, wow, I will cross the oceans. And you think, wow, this is actually what people do. And they say, but then like son, you're listening to those, I'll cross the ocean for you. They're not singing that. They're just presenting themselves in a way that if an opportunity comes for me to replace you, I'll take it. But I like you. But if an opportunity comes that we switch this chair and I sit on that seat, I'll take it. And if it means breaking the law, and that's what Brutus, the man who facilitated the betrayal of Caesar, said this. He said that breaking the law is allowed if it will get you power. That was his motivation. If you're going to break the law, break it so that you get power, but don't break the law just to move across the street. And that's how some people in our lives are. They will break codes of friendship, of brotherhood, of whatever, just to get the power that you get to enjoy. There are people who trust you and love you and would do anything for you. And those people, they are fighting for the attention of those people who just love you. And because these guys, they cannot win them, they have to first disparage you, soil you, make you so bad, so ugly, so that people turn away from you and turn towards them. So if you want to be safe, just love deeply, but choose very slowly. Be conscious when you're making the choice. It
is a risk that you let somebody back into your life and they do it all over again and go for more vital organs, like you're saying.
They go for vitals.
They go for vitals, and coming back from that is not going to be easy, because now you're thinking, I had the chance to not let this happen, and I allowed this person back into my life. When people are betrayed, it's something that, is very emotional. This is something that can keep you up at night. You're having sleepless nights, you're obsessing, you're forgetting all your responsibilities, you're feeling like this is the only thing happening in the world right now. How do we move from that space?
After the acceptance stage is the adjustment. You have to adjust. And that if you struggle with accepting, you'll never get to adjusting. Many of us want to adjust without accepting. That's why we get addictions. But you have to accept. For the acceptance, then the adjustment comes in. What's the adjustment? The number is 0759262. Okay, delete. You have to be ready to make. You have to make the tough decisions. Healing is a process, and that process must be initiated. And what's the initiating process? There is this that you feel like you really need. Start making those adjustments. Start communicate. If somebody calls you, and so I'm looking for so and so. Currently, maybe talk to so and so. They may be in a better position to help you get them, but I'm not available for that. Making those adjustments will help you be able to reach out to the next phase, which is adapting. Because after you adjust, now you'll begin to adapt. So you accept, adjust, adapt. So if you don't adjust, then you will not adapt. And adaptation is now rebuilding a new life without that person, making plans without that person. And I always tell people that before you get to that adaptation phase and adapting to that phase, your purpose must be greater than the people in your life. If the people in your life are greater than the purpose in your life, people will always sabotage you. People are like lanes. Good people are good roads, bad people are bad roads. And your purpose is where you want to go. So you have to be so purpose obsessed that when people walk into your life, they don't walk in to become your purpose. They walk in to play a role in helping you achieve that purpose. But if you don't have purpose, you only have people around you, and these people begin to act up and throw tantrums all around and dash you on the floor. You will begin to try to rebuild this relationship and rebuild this, and collecting broken pieces. And when you're collecting this piece, another piece of you is over there, your eye fell off is over there, so your teeth are over there. So you're trying to put yourself together. Then you ask you, by the way, Joy, what really did you want to be in life? Well, I don't know, but people don't like me. I think if you have a clear purpose, eventually the people who feel the same way about that purpose, you will always have people who will feel the same way about a purpose that you have. But you never have people feeling the same way about you, always. Yeah. But about a purpose, you will always have more people believing in a purpose, whether it's about the poor, whether it's about eradicating poverty, doing what. But about you, today they will like you, tomorrow they will not. So you always must have your head above the purpose so that it helps you process, hey, I have to accept, I have to adjust, and I have to adapt. Why? Because my purpose is still intact. It's the people that keep changing, but my purpose is still intact. It helps.
Yeah, I want to talk also a little bit about how it is that you can start trusting again and being vulnerable with people. Once you've been, you know, you've been hurt, after choosing slowly, and you're still, you know, kind of not sure how to trust again, how to be vulnerable again, how to be able to cultivate meaningful relationships. How do we start to get there?
Well, as I always say that in your life, probably you may never have more than 5 people whom you can trust. Because very few people are in your life for you. Everybody, many of them are in your life for themselves. Oh, you're not making me happy. Oh, you're not this. Oh, you're not this. So very many people are in your life for themselves. Finding those 5 people, that tells you it will not take the next 2 years. Maybe it will take you 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
So for you to learn to trust, you must begin with small pieces of information or small doors of access or small privileges. Don't start with the big bangs. Yeah? Start small and see how the person handles that information, that access. Always put some fleece tester. See, I told somebody this and this. 2 weeks later, nobody has heard it. 3 weeks later, nobody. 4 months, then you begin to discover this person can handle more. Secondly, I don't think you should rush in wanting to form a trust relationship. You be trustworthy yourself. Let the people see that if I ever get to you, like for me personally, if somebody, this is ideal. I never process with my wife. If somebody tells me something, I never sit down with my wife. I tell, well, but then you know this and this. If somebody tells me something, it's like telling the grave. It's dead. It's over. Yeah. I never go. If I want to debrief it, I'll go, or I need some level of consultation, I'll go consult somewhere very, very far away. And the person will not even know what I'm asking about. Because I have seen that information is the quality of life of a person. When somebody gives information about themselves, that's the quality of their life. That's their essence. So I choose, if I become a trustworthy person, it's very easy for me to demand trust from people. But if I'm not, and I want to build trust relationships, and somebody just told me the other day, alikula ugali na skuma, and they're walking on, they just feel like even simple things, you are ever so eager, your heart is so eager to just spill out things about people. Then you will struggle forming trust relationships, because it's what you sow, that's what you reap. And that's what happens sometimes. So I would always try to make sure that if you want to rebuild the trust, be the trustworthy person in the group. Let the people know that Nani is trustworthy. And then build your character to be so resolute that if somebody would start something about you, people will not easily jump on it. They will say, no, Nani can't do that.
Yeah.
Avoid living on the edge that people say, maybe, probably. No. There are some things you should be so clear about. They say, Nani can't do that.
Yeah.
No, he can't do that. And that helps you in the future when life begins to take a spin. Because if you are there for others in their time of need, definitely some of them will be there
for you.
Yeah.
I got an SMS here from Bwari who says, betrayal is worse when the betrayed is family and a person you have sacrificed so much for. It hurts to the core and throws you in a state of confusion, and I couldn't agree more. Remember, the SMS number is 22422 if you have any comments about what we're talking about right now. Forgiveness is a part of this of this journey. They say, you know, forgive but don't forget. Yeah. How true, first of all, is that statement?
You never forget.
You don't forget.
You never forget, because this is, you have a mind that if it can remember 1 + 1 is equals 2, how can I forget a knife hanging out from my spleen. From my spleen hanging out, and you're saying, I forget it, it's not there. You can see it, it's there. But forgiveness is good for you. It's not good for the other person. It helps. That's where the accepting first comes in, because part of accepting has got to deal with forgiving the person. It's saying that the person knew better, but he refused to do what he knew. So what I choose to do is I'll not hold it to them. I'll deal with the consequences of their actions. And that's what forgiveness is all about, accepting to deal with the consequences of somebody else's choices. So
it's not necessarily accepting their behavior or accepting and saying what they did wasn't that bad. It's about
the consequences.
Yeah.
You are saying, I'll deal with the consequences. They've burnt the house. Now I have to rebuild the house. That's the consequence. Their choices were wrong, but since I can never be in a position to control somebody's choices, I have to be at a place where I accept that I have to deal with the consequences. And the faster I move to dealing with the consequences, the better for me. So forgiveness comes to see it that way. It also calls upon you to also forgive yourself. We always feel so guilty and so overwhelmed, and we blame ourselves. Sometimes even bang our heads kwa cushion, unasikia kuscream, the dog imeka kwa mlango unaishautia, why are you seated here? But it's to forgive yourself also, to tell yourself that I didn't know better. Because when events happen, you begin to say, but I should have seen these signs, I should have seen these signs, but you didn't know better, you didn't have the facts with you. So be soft on yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself at you. Look at the mess I've caused. I'm the one who brought this person. I didn't do this. I didn't observe this. Forgiving yourself is also very, very important. It helps you live on with yourself, because at the end of the day, you're the one who will be left after the other person has walked out. So you also have to forgive yourself, and that is where I find most of the people who have been betrayed, they struggle with. They always feel like the person has forsaken me because there is something so wrong with me. And so you begin to find something so wrong with you.
Yeah.
And you find a lot of things so wrong with you. And then you begin to punish yourself so hard. But it had nothing to do with you. It was their choice. You're just feeling the consequences of somebody else's choices. So it is always good to also forgive yourself and let them go. And I always say, don't over-rehearse it. Don't over-rehearse it. And don't be the person who atukimona napiga story na mse pale, you start saying, hey, huyo msana Johnny nani, hey, atajua tu atajua. Don't be the
and
journalist.
Like wish the worst for them, and just like
just let them go. Focus on rebuilding your life after their consequences. Focus on dealing with the consequences, because you'll see them somewhere enjoying a good time, and you'll be sitting here saying, yani ule msana anaweza nifanyia kisanga hivi na ako pale anajiroka. Mungu halali, Mungu si atmani. You'll be so, those prayers, you'd rather pray for your
prayers of demise.
Yeah, pray for yourself. Pray, oh God, give me strength, but don't over-rehearse it to them and over-rehearse it to people when you see them with somebody. I always see this with ladies. When a guy betrays you and they went out with somebody else, you're so much doing a job for the guy. Oh, you know that guy. Asikudanganya. Oh, hey, where utaona tu. Just tell her, need to be careful. Tell her, I was there before. You are busy trying to sell somebody. A fake will always be discovered.
Yeah.
So don't do the work for him. He'll do the work for himself, the same way you found out yourself. So don't over-rehearse them. Don't follow them through. Don't run trying to see what they are, whether they are happy or not. Just focus on dealing with the consequences, and that's what forgiveness gives you. It makes you focus. Hey, I am torn apart. Let me patch myself up, so that I can be wholesome. I don't become toxic. I don't take the frustrations of this betrayal to the church, to the office, to wherever I'm going. I don't become a toxic environment.
Bitter person.
Bitter. angry person, ukicheka watu wanashtuka, lo amecheka, what's good? So it takes a lot of that.
And again, like you've said, it is about rebuilding yourself. It's about self-care. It's about giving yourself time to recuperate, because sometimes we can be a little bit hard on ourselves, saying, you know what, that guy cheated on me 3 months ago. I should have gotten over it by now. You know, but you're still holding on, and it's about, like, you know, being easy with yourself, at ease.
And you know, these betrayers are very good. They've learned the art of growing in rank. They know how to talk. They just know how to position themselves as helpful people, but actually they are hurtful people. And so I have always been very careful when people want to help. I'm always the person who is checking, really?
What's your agenda?
What's your agenda? I'm not the person, I fear when people are too helpful around me, because I've seen how helpful people would beat their chest. I am the one, I am the one. And they use that as capital. And so I must always be careful. Any person I give space to help, space in my life, I am giving them capital. And so I'm giving you capital that should you spend it against me, can I survive? So I don't want to overdraw my capital and give you $1 million and I don't know where you're going to spend it. So I'd rather give you 5K. So should you ban me with 5K, I've got a reserve for it. So they're so good. And so sometimes they're so hard because you're thinking, wow, but these people are so good. So I have learned, especially for people like us who are leaders, just be careful with the helpful people.
That's true. They've probably done it before.
They've done it before. They know how to get to people like us. They know we are ever busy, we are forgetting something, ever late. Somebody wants to take advantage of you. So they come like, hey, I'm here to make you not be stressed out. I'm here for you. And so you lower your guard because this person is helpful. Oh, take my card there. Or take this there. Oh, don't think about it. I'll do it for you. Oh, tomorrow I was supposed to do this. And I told them, Mama Kufua, don't worry. We're in a job. I'll handle it for you. Hey, Kabilojue, they're getting access.
And you're relinquishing control.
And they're relinquishing so much. The day they begin to say, nani najua kwake, the things I find when I clean his house. Then unaanza kwenda, by the way, why did I allow that guy to clean my house? I used to clean my house before that person walked in. I've learned it. And it's going to hurt you.
Be wary of the helpful.
Actually, that's the best one. Be very wary of helpful people. They can be hurtful people.
One thing I like that you said, and that I'm going to take away from this conversation, is you said just because you're letting a good person go doesn't mean they're not better people out there. It's not the end of the world. This wasn't the only person in existence who could, you know, come and fulfill a certain need in your life. And so, you know, looking kind of optimistically towards the future, I think is a very helpful thing.
Very good. Never lose your vision. Never lose your purpose. Be sold out to your purpose, and it will take you through any pain.
Absolutely. I think that's a good place for us to end our discussion today. Perhaps you can share your social media handles.
Well, Welly Odendo, W-E-L-L-Y Odendo. Those are Instagram, is it LinkedIn, LinkedIn, whichever way you call it, whichever way you call it, Twitter, whichever way you call it. That's where we are. My contact, if anybody, people who are requesting for the book, is 0722 92 50 31. Maybe there are people who want to private talk, whichever way. We can always get something working. 0722 92 50 31. Okay. And I will be there. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much for this conversation. It's been a good one, and hopefully someone will be bouncing back a little bit sooner than they thought they would be able to do.